I'm here in the 2016 Ford Escape taking an in-depth look at the new Sync 3 infotainment system. This system replaces the old My Ford Touch system that was pretty sluggish. This system is a lot better. First, let's look at the layout. On this home screen here, I'm looking at navigation on the left, audio on the upper right, and the phone system on the lower right. I also have a persistent menu bar across the bottom. This shows me audio, climate, the phone system, navigation, the apps link menu, and a settings menu. One complaint I have here has to do with this hardware right here, which kind of gets in the way of reaching this menu. I wish Ford would lower this down a bit, make that menu a little more accessible. Now let me show you one of the really cool things about this system here. I'll go to navigation, and this is incredibly responsive. I can show this on the map just by dragging it around. It just drags around so quickly. I mean, this is faster than you see on most tablets, as fast as any smartphone. And that responsiveness relays to the entire system here. Everything just works really quickly, and that's fantastic here. Now, for the navigation system here, I'm looking at 3D rendered maps. These maps look really good in this navigation system. They're really light and clean, and we're looking at 3D rendered buildings in downtown San Francisco. I can zoom out, of course. I can also pinch and zoom too, which is nice. And I can look at different types of maps. I can look at plan view maps if I prefer a top-down. Let's go to destination here. Just pushing this button, and I get previous destinations, some categories for POIs, places of interest. I also have a saved location for home and work and favorites. But when I want to enter an address manually, I just push the search button here. I've got what Ford calls its one-box search ID. So I can start entering any letters in here, and this will search against not only street names, but also places of interest. So I put in CBS, do search, not only finds CBS Interactive where we are right now, it also finds a place called CBS Lane, which is far, far away. And I can enter in full addresses here if I know my specific street address. So 235 2nd Street comes up right away, and that gives us our location right here. So it's really fast entering addresses here. I should point out, there's no online destination search in this menu. That's because there's no dedicated data connection in this car. But Ford makes up for that with their app link system. Right now, there are no online search apps yet, but there could be in the future. Right now, I'm looking at Sirius Travel Link, and that gives me traffic information, fuel prices, movie times, a lot of the stuff you get through satellite radio in a lot of current cars today. Also for apps, I've got some apps that are running on my phone right now. I've got Glimpse, which lets me share my current location and where I'm going, and Spotify. All these are running on my iPhone here, which is cabled to the car. There are other apps available, and more are going to be added pretty much every month. When I go into Spotify, I get this really clean looking screen, and this is a fairly common screen amongst the audio apps that are available here, so you don't have to change what you're looking at every time you bring up a different audio app or audio source. So I get my skip, play, pause buttons, those are great, but I also have this menu button up here, so I can choose a lot of the different options that Spotify gives me. I can browse different artists, I can choose my favorite artists, I can look at some of the local radio stations I have saved here, and it's really easy to go through them and choose which ones I want. Now let's go into the audio menu because there's a lot of other options here. So if I hit my change source, I can see I've got AM, FM, that's HD, FM as well, Sirius satellite radio, CD, Bluetooth audio, and plus since I have my iPhone connected to the system, I can also view music that's stored on my phone. So I hit the browse button here, and I get this menu of playlists, artists, albums, genres, songs, all the usual things you find in a music library interface. If I switch to Bluetooth streaming, one thing you don't get here is the ability to browse your music library on your phone. Some more advanced systems do that today, but this one doesn't. Now let's go to the phone menu. And here I get my recent call list, contacts, dialer, and I also get access to Siri too, so I can request stuff from my iPhone. Obviously that's not going to work with an Android phone. And of course I've got voice command here, so a lot of the things I can do on the screen I can do just by hitting this voice command button. This new Sync 3 system is really good, and it's actually a lot better than a lot of the systems you see in cars today because it is so responsive, and it does have that app link connectivity that's going to allow a lot of expansion in the future.